to take his iconography and imagery like this and use it to kind of paint the scene. Looks like a painting of antiquity. Child voice, singing, beautiful choice. It's an incredible portrait shot here that really voices the character. Rise, ye tarnished! We're continuing our Elden Ring series with the Shadow of the Erdtree story trailer. If you enjoy our time together, watch more. Elden Ring Lore Masters.
Peggy 16.
Join me in battle. There we go. So excited, man. Huge Elden Ring fan. Just replaying Dark Souls 3 right now. It's so much fun.
Mikula the Kind spoke of the beginning.
Whose voice is that?
The seduction and the betrayal.
Okay. There's a lot of betrayal in this story, so who? It's like a
An
battlefield.
affair from which gold arose.
Marika. That's the gold. That's how she got that Elden Ring, from which gold arose. The
And
Order
so
of Gold.
too was Shadow born.
It's like the inside of a body. But Shadow was born as well.
What
Oh, this is,
followed was a war unseen.
it's gonna be how she became a god, essentially.
One that could never be put to song.
Wow, look at the harsh colors. Beautiful. The whole thing's been.
Purge without grace or honor.
Wow, what a shot. It looks like an old painting. Looks like a
The
painting of
tyranny
antiquity.
of Messmer's flame.
Wow. I love how they're almost poised in different poses. Like you would pose for a painting of a king. Glorious colors. There's so much to talk about and break down in this. We'll get into it. Wow. Big Berserk vibes as always right there. So great, man. The images. I love how they make it, they make it look like a painting. Even though it's not. Really, really beautiful done. It's almost like recalling a memory. These still
And so
solid
kindly
images
Mikula would abandon everything.
brought to life. Awesome. Child voice, singing, beautiful choice.
His
hear that?
golden flesh. His blinding strength.
This like mournful child.
And his fate.
Is that Saint Trina? Alter ego?
But we are not deterred.
The music. It's just quite different. It's like a march of war.
We choose to follow.
Yes. It's us. The Tarnish.
Will you walk with us?
I will walk with you. Amazing. You do not get that type of music from any of these games. Feels like a final march, a final push, the ride of the Rohirrim, that sort of feeling. Wow. That was incredible. Yeah, and I think that's it. All right, we have a lot to talk about. Let's go break it down, particularly these shots in the beginning of Marika. And of course, it's not to even mention the lore talk, which we're going to do a lore talk, and of course a cinematic language talk, which we love to do here. Like I said, if you enjoy our time together, make sure to hop in our Discord. If you want to chat, continue the conversation, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. And if you want to choose a video for me to react to and break down, click that join button. All right, this is amazing. Let's look at it right at the first shot. The seduction.
The seduction.
The
and
seduction.
The betrayal.
Clearly taking something from, it looks like an eye of a creature or some sort of organ. Seems to be inside a body, like some body that was just blasted wide open, which is just like, what? Betrayal, seduction again. So we're looking at Marika. It's okay, Marika to become or to achieve the power she did, supposedly here, seduce someone. I want to hear from the lore masters who that might be, who are our choices, or perhaps a new being. So that's one option. Takes the power for herself. And if we look, this is a great shot, by the way. Look at the highlights from this sort of like sunset in the background, and it's lighting this ground up enough so you can see this sort of like wet reflection, and it's like, is this a body? Is this like a massive gargantuan body? Really, really cool. And you have this sort of like mischievous, almost like tiptoeing away from the scene, like hand in the cookie jar, I'm out of here type feeling here. Really, really eerie, right? Creepy.
An affair from which gold arose.
You have to remember that America has this sort of alter ego, Ratigan, where she deceives and seduces Renala, Raya Lucaria. It's a very Ratigan type outfit. You see where I'm going with this? America seduced whoever the heck this was as Ratigan. Kind of the origins of Ratigan, and I would love to hear from the lore masters your thoughts on that. I'm sure you've already considered it deeply, but look at how the wind blows there. I love we have this really, really cool vignette around the image right here. Beautiful painterly image. The vignette being this sort of border that goes around the whole thing, but actually has a blur on it. Do you notice that? It's really, really cool. So it kind of almost feels like a dream, almost like tunnel vision, almost like you can't look at it, which is appropriate because America is like a godlike figure, right? And then this appears to be the Elden Ring or something like it, you know, where she's kind of strapped to it at the end there when you come to fight her. But I love it. Really, really strong image. And then this is what I'm talking about, right? Are these bodies? What is this? Is it bodies that were split apart? Like, is it a battlefield? So interesting. And look what we have here. So he said, when gold was born, and we have a beautiful, beautiful complementary color scheme here. When gold was born, so too was shadow. Then we see the shadow on that side, and in between is this kind of like tunnel of bodies. So berserk, this image, right? But it's a beautiful painting as it is, right? And of course, the composition almost does this beautiful spiral. We get into the rightmost third of the image. We come from the darkness here. Okay, then we start to get the highlights on these bodies, drawing our eye with these leading lines down to this figure of America, grasping the Elden Ring, or what appears to be the makings of the Elden Ring, or creating it, or goodness knows what. How does the Elden Beast play into this? Well, we don't know, right? I'd love to hear from the lore masters. But look at this. Just bisecting down the image here, bringing the gold. The gold is, you know, sprouting from America. This beautiful image. Great composition. Great colors.
And so too was Shadow born.
Oh, so great. So yeah, we have to ask ourselves, there's a whole other world here. And look how they fade out the gold last, right? It's so great.
What followed was a war unseen.
A war unseen. This is so cool, man. These kind of like brazier, you know, walking torches. Like, what the heck? So cool, man. Great shot there. Great shot. You have sort of like generals directing the battle. You have the soldiers marching. It's just awesome.
One that could never be put to song.
And like, who is that? I thought at first it might be an omen from the cloak, but I don't think it is. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Beautiful image. Again, awesome composition. We have on the rightmost side of the frame here this kind of like burning staircase. They're just leaving this body alone, which is kind of eerie. Marching alongside it like nothing happened.
A purge.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite image from the entire thing. And like I talked about, they've taken this sort of feeling of like, you know, a frozen image, a frozen memory. Looks like, you know, a pose that you would see like a king or a general do back in the day, to be painted, to be depicted. And it's almost like we're looking back on something like that, or a memory, but it's alive. You can see the snakes. And what's really cool is, if we look closely, I believe this is supposed to be some sort of magic or cannon fire or, you know, barrage of flame magic or something. But what's really cool is they've taken the imagery of the snake, which is clearly like Mesmer's iconography, as we say for like Greek gods and Roman gods. And boom, you know, it's snaking across the screen. It's not just like a catapult of fire. And that's a really great detail. All right, look at this. It's so cool, man.
The tyranny.
But, I mean, just look at it again. To take his iconography and imagery like this and use it to kind of paint the scene, literally paint across the scene snake-like. Awesome. That's why I love it. It's so eerie. Like, this is Elden Ring. Such a good shot too. I also love this sort of like very tragic feeling, right? Tragic feeling. Look at this. It's grasping a loved one who's fallen, a banner perhaps. It almost reminds me of the Black Knives type cape, but obviously it's a translucent type cape. Beautiful, beautiful image, and tragic, like someone just letting themselves burn in the middle of a battlefield in mourning. It's that powerful image. And again, the silhouette really, really come to life here, which has been the primary use for a couple shots here. Silhouette. Now this guy is, we remember looking at him from the other trailer. It's actually like people stacked on top of each other, right? Holding the mask, like the holding. It's crazy. You can see the arms right here, right? Look at this. So strange, man. So strange. Like opening it up by hand. It's absolutely terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Like, what is this creature? Wait, going for Mesmer. Okay, so these people are against Mesmer. And if, like we said, if this is Omens. So cool, man. So cool. I'm so curious about Mesmer's lore beyond, just the awesome imagery that we've seen and what it could lead to. Wow. So cool, man. Yeah, it's like, we are so back. So epic, man. I love, again, the sort of painted image that I talked about, painted image. It's almost like dripping down liquid, but it of course is the Mikola symbol, I think, which we've established so far. The Mikola's symbol. I do want to see this again. This portrait shot is really good. Just an incredible portrait shot here that really voices the character. See that? It's just sort of the intensity. The intensity in his eyes, they're just like bereft of all feeling. Oh my goodness, not threatened, not anything, just completely devoid of feelings. And he's creating this magic right here. Just a great portrait. Look at the lighting. And I love how this one eye is obscured. And you have just the hint of gold there, which again presumes some sort of connection to America or the Order of Gold, to have the gold in there at all. So yeah, it makes you wonder. But it also has, much like, if we look very closely, in that one frame, much like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, we have actually like a snake eye, which is very appropriate for the character. Again, that iconography, very, very cool, very, very Greek. I love it. I love the helmet. Just a great portrait, man. And to have him just completely bathed in red light too is fantastic. I love it. Yeah. Next image, like I said. Yeah, it's Vlad the Impaler. Look at this. Insanity. Oh my goodness, wait, is that the... I'm trying to look. I think it's actually those lion guys. With the lion heads too, they got impaled. Man, he's strong. Because those enemies look terrifying. Yeah, and then there's this imagery, which we've seen before in the trailer, of the entire world of Shadow being like pulled up and almost like, transforming and being sucked into this black hole. Really, really cool imagery. What does that mean? Are they gonna like encroach on the lands between and come there? Don't know. And hey, the lands between, is that what it means? Does it mean between Shadow and between Gold, the lands between? It's a great question.
And so kindly
Now
Mikola
this
would
part.
abandon everything.
Mikola abandons everything. To what end? To stop the war, maybe? Right? Beautiful song choice, like I said, to have the child singing.
His golden flesh.
His golden flesh. So this is to mean that's his golden flesh on the ground right there?
His blinding strength.
Blinding strength.
Even his fate.
Even his fate. So tell me of the Saint Trina connection again. I would love to hear about it, Lore Masters. Because it's really fascinating. I think that's what's happening here. Even his fate. Let's see.
But we are not deterred.
I love this. It's like the guidance of grace right here. Just a beautiful image. Sort of a little bit more industrial, man-made versus complete natural. Beautiful. And what is this sign going to mean for us in this story? It's going to guide us like the grace does.
We choose to follow.
Rise, ye tarnished! We're back! It's just so great to see this because, it's a DLC. We have established characters. Yes, I'm sure there'll be people getting Elden Ring now with a DLC and like playing the whole thing. But look at this. This is supposed to be us, I presume. Us tarnished. Having played the game, all the different builds. It's just great to see.
Walk with us.
Yes. music is so like, yeah, it's like a war march. It's victorious. It's hopeful too, which is not typical of any Elden Ring music whatsoever, or FromSoft for that matter. And there's Mesmer at the end. But yeah, it's so cool to see. And these players are already in this this shadow, which is really cool to see. But yeah, I absolutely love it. There's so much more to talk about, but I mean, look at this image. It's in line with exactly what I said. They seem to have taken almost like the intro to Elden Ring, which I remember saying a million times, like, why did they look at Dark Souls 1, 2, 3? Look at Bloodborne. Incredible, fully pre-rendered animation, film-like intros. Elden Ring, just paintings, just images, back to back to back. It's almost like this is what they did. They had this, when you do a storyboard for this, I'm assuming they paint each of the images or, storyboard them out, and then they say, we're going to animate these, and they animate them. But they're all very, very painter-like, with usually, one moving element, but it's a static pose, a static image. You notice? Nobody's like moving around. Just their capes are blowing and stuff. So it's a cool sort of ideology for it that paid off, by the way. And I remember being like, it was a good call. Holy mama, the Elden Ring, sales exploded. It's like the most popular game in their entire catalog. And to have that intro, just paintings. And it's not a short intro either, explaining the sort of lore and what's going on with the Tarnish. So it seems they've sort of taken that ideology for this new story trailer and kind of taken each image that was a painting and brought it to life. And it's just beautiful to see. Just a little bit of movement in there at the end of the character rising. Rise, ye Tarnish. But even like this, look. Right? It's the same pose. Right? There's no like, there's no moving around like that. All of these images, see? Slow walk. But it's almost like a static image of the character. Right? It's super interesting. This, obviously, same thing. Like, every major image is just a static pose. I think except that one. Except that one where the guy's attacking. Every single image is just with like the cape flowing and stuff. It's cool. It's eerie. It feels like a dream, right? Paintings brought to life. Again, to watch this, you see what I mean? Watch. Even those guys marching, it's almost like there's a static image of them moving. Look at this. It really is just like a painting brought to life. A dreamlike, painterly image brought to life from a memory.
The tyranny of Mesmer's flame.
And I love they use tyranny for that line as the person's like burning and mourning some loss. But yeah, this is probably the most intriguing image to me, simply because what is this? Like, how did she get her power? How did she, become who she is? Anyways, guys, that's my initial thoughts on it. Beautiful imagery as always from FromSoft. Miyazaki has done it again. I cannot wait to play this DLC. I'll probably be streaming it. It's just so much fun. Yeah. But you guys are absolutely the best. Thank you for being here. Make sure to sub, like I said. Follow on Twitch, Discord, all that stuff. And I'll talk to you very soon.